Hi Founder fans, Jason here, and today's founder is John Schenck, and we'll be discussing the ambush of Geary. Now, John Schenck was a 25-year-old who heard about Lexington and Concord and decided to sign up to fight in the Revolutionary War. He was from New Jersey and therefore joined the New Jersey Militia, where his fellow militiamen elected him their captain. And as I said, at just 25 years old, he was now leading men. He would participate throughout the entirety of the Revolutionary War, but his most notable happening occurs December 14th, 1776, where Schenck actually was sent home. He was given leave to go visit his family. Unfortunately, as soon as he gets home, word arrives that the British are patrolling the area. I will remind you that New Jersey is the battlegrounds of the Revolution, with skirmishes taking place nearly constantly, especially for forage and food and things of that nature. So as soon as he hears that there's a British scouting party nearby, well, Schenck jumps to action. He creates a little militia of his own, a new militia, because he already had one, of friends and family in the area. He gets them together, they arm themselves, and they hide out. Eventually, the Cornet Francis Geary, Cornet being the lowest level officer the British had at the time, Cornet Francis Geary and some of his men show up. And what happens? Schenck and his friends and family jump out of the bushes and they ambush Geary, killing the leader of the party as well as killing or taking hostage most of his colleagues. This is an extremely important moment in Revolutionary history, though it's such a small skirmish and seems insignificant. What happened was it scared the British, and they changed how they would be doing scouting parties from there on out. They wouldn't just be sending out lots of smaller parties, all willy-nilly like. Now, what's really important about this is the date, December 14th, 1776. It is just before George Washington crosses the Delaware and then continues to attack Trenton and Princeton, which we know are some of the most important morale-boosting moments of the war, at a time where people were starting to doubt old Georgie Washington for these consecutive losses. Trenton and Princeton and the crossing of the Delaware are a huge morale booster, and they add a lot of faith that the people and the soldiers have in Washington, and we have a lot of that to thank for John Schenck. Now, as I said, Schenck continues in the war all 8 years of war, and he stays in New Jersey, where the fighting is maybe not always the heaviest, but the most frequent. He somehow survives it, but he becomes a wanted man for the British, and there are many times when it sounds like the British are in the area. Schenck goes to sleep almost every night with a friend or fellow militiaman guarding the door of his house. And when he has no one around to guard the door, he actually chooses to sleep out in the woods for his own safety. So that's the brief overview of John Schenck, a man who we actually don't know a whole ton about before and after the war, but has this really, really important moment that is great to learn about. Sometimes it's these small stories that have the biggest impacts, and that's why I do this here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit like so more people can learn about Founder of the Day and learn along with us. If you're new here, subscribe for a different American founder 7 days a week. I'll be back with another founder for you tomorrow.